Welcome to the Whaler Guys here at 20-28 Sargent Street in Hartford, home of the Whaler Guys, Hartford Public Access. Our ringleader, Gil Martinez. Lindsay's in the booth with Edgar tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And you, the brigade. Peter, we are freezing our keisters off today. It's cold out there.
It's nice. It's nice to not have to sweat to death.
Oh, cut it out.
You maybe put on a little jacket. You get some of the breeze. It's crisp, clean air. It's very nice. It's not smoggy. It's not filthy like the summer.
It's freezing out there.
Yeah, you don't have to put on like 8 pounds of deodorant.
You don't need to. You know what? Yes, it's the holiday season. So, you know what? It's nice to have a little crisp air, as you say.
Yeah.
To get in the holiday spirit, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah, and for our Jewish friends, happy Hanukkah. That happened last night.
That's right.
So happy Hanukkah, the celebration of the lights.
There you go.
And to our Christian fellows and the people who celebrate Christmas, it is the Christmas season as well. And we hope all of you and your families have a wonderful holiday season, and we wish you the very best.
Lots of Whaler, jackets, hats, jerseys, T-shirts underneath the tree. That's what
and I would, for tonight, get the knit hat. It's cold out there.
Yeah, well, you got a fair point.
I will say, I was at West Farms the other day, and Parade of Novelties has now moved upstairs on the upper level, right next to the Disney store, closer to the Macy's end of the shopping center. It is a very large store, and right in the middle is a mannequin wearing the Hartford Whalers green jersey.
There you go.
Almost like the highlight of the whole store. Right in the middle as you walk in the middle of all the other jerseys is the Hartford Whalers jersey sitting right there. So go to West Farms, see Ehor, who runs the Parade of Novelties sports memorabilia store. One of our loyal fans, Michael Patnud, he lives in Rhode Island, bought a picture of the Hartford Civic Center game night.
That's right.
And has shared the pictures with us. And
it was pretty cool.
He bought it, I think, for $109. It's a beautiful picture. I saw another one in there, so if that is on your Christmas list, let the people know to buy that nice picture.
Sure.
It shows a full stadium of Whaler fans, and I believe it was against New Jersey Devils that night.
Yeah.
So I don't know when the picture was taken, but the arena was filled with loyal Whaler fans.
Good old days.
That's right. So we've had a busy couple weeks. You were away on assignment over in Europe.
Yeah, that's was checking it out. Got one Whaler mention out of the whole trip, and it was a guy from Canada. So there you go. I was like, "Oh, you're from Europe?" And he's like, "No, I'm from Canada." That's how I recognize the Whaler thing. Good, because everyone else is looking at me like I got lobsters coming out of my ears, wearing this Whaler jersey around in Germany and stuff. And it wasn't a lot of Whaler fans. I didn't run into a ton, but
so Whalers Europe did not come out to greet you.
Yeah, one showing. And it was a Canadian guy, so that made sense.
So while Pete was away, I was able to go see UConn hockey against UMass Amherst, and what a shellacking! It was absolutely wonderful. A lot of Whaler fans in the crowd. Saw them cheering on UConn, and 8 times the horns went off with the following brass bonanza. They ended up beating UMass Amherst 8-2 that night, and it was great because it was kind of like a round robin with their goaltending. Amherst, they used all 3 goalies that night because they got them all in.
That's one of the things is about UConn. They need to capitalize on these games that they should win. Now, I can't remember if it was before or after. So they beat UMass 8-2, and they ended up losing to them in Amherst 4-2. But we've seen a team that has turned its season around. I mean, they were in a horrendous position of being like 3-10-2, I think. Now they've won 5 out of the last 6 games.
And they've played great hockey.
They have. In the last game we were at, and Lindsay's got some shots here, we're at the UConn versus who did they beat? They beat 4-2. No, I can't remember.
Colgate.
It was Colgate. That's right. So it was a non-conference.
Number 15.
Number 15 or 16 in the country. Colgate. It was a non-conference game, but UConn was able to. I think it was the 15th win for Coach Kavanaugh over a nationally ranked team. So you know, they've done it to a couple teams, the Colgate. They've done it to BC, as we've seen. BU, you know, they've beaten some teams that, you know.
And what was important about this one, being there with you, we saw them go up 1-0 early.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, way to go. And then bam, bam, 2 goals by
Yeah.
Colgate. We're like, oh
no,
no,
here we go.
The wheels fell off the bus.
Right.
But they stayed really strong. They played really hard hockey. Physical hockey for a little bit.
Right.
I was more concerned they weren't playing as physical as they should, and they came back to win 4-2, and it really it was a good game. The crowd was really into it. Smaller crowd again, but really they got into it, and it was really fun to watch.
Here's that picture there, and we're showing that's the game winner. That was the 3rd goal scored by UConn. It actually was a goal by Johnny Austin, who's a good defenseman. For the UConn, and he's a starting defenseman usually. Blast from the point, the puck goes in the net. You know, it's creating some interference there in the front of the net. You know, get in front of his face, get in front of the goalie's face, and then the puck ended up in the back of the net.
And that's what UMass was doing all night, because even you know, their goals came on power plays, and UConn had a couple power play goals, which again, this was a struggling point last year with UConn with their power play, and they got 2 significant goals there with the power play.
Right.
But when UMass was controlling the
Colgate?
puck, I'm sorry, Colgate had that guy sitting right in front of the net, and UConn has to be conscious of getting that guy away from Huska, who played a great game.
He did, and you know, here's a really great shot. So this is the insurance goal. Laternov was on the far side of the net. Somebody made a great pass. I think it was Wysocki, number 12 for UConn, made a pass across the ice, found Laternov on the side of the net, and as you can see, the puck there just beats the goaltender. His last name is Point. I can't remember his first name. But that was to make it 4-2. This also was a power play goal, as Jerry mentioned. The last 2 UConn goals, they had a 5-on-3, if you remember, and they capitalized on both, is what they need to do. They made the score 4-2, and even though you know, Colgate pulled the goalie with a minute and a half left, and they had even a power play because for some reason Joseph Masonis had to get the last penalty of every period. You're a good player, Joe. But don't get in the penalty box too much. He did score that night, so he made up for a little bit. But
great slap
he
shot
took a late 3rd period call, and I know they're up 4-2. But now you got a 6-on-4 because they pulled their goalie. So Joseph Masonis, a little too much penalty box time on that game. But don't worry, they came out with the win.
On Laternov's goal there, I thought it was a rebound, and then obviously with the replay, you could see it was a deliberate pass from Wysocki from the point.
Yeah.
And you know that even made it a better goal.
Yeah, it did. It did.
You know, if it was a rebound, he was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
This was a manufactured play, which was wonderful.
Oh yeah, it really was. And I'll tell you, it's really good to see UConn score because the offense has really kicked up since I think it was November 27th when they beat Vermont 4-1. And then since then, they've won 5 out of 6. And in those 6 games, they've outscored their opponents 24 goals to 11. UConn is now at the top of Hockey East in goals scored. Can you imagine that? Granted, the season's still a little young, but they have 40 goals scored. Yeah, 40 goals scored. BC is second in Hockey East with 36 goals. And in the conference overall, so in other words, against other opponents, their overall record, they have 60 goals. And that still tops of Hockey East teams for the season. However, they're giving up some goals too. I think they gave up about the same amount of goals as they have scored. So the defense, you know, maybe needs a click or two. But if they can beat UMass the next game against, you know, they play BC, that's a tough one to ask for. But they have a couple games against, they got Quinnipiac on January 2nd, and they've got a couple games against Merrimack. So those are the teams that they should beat and try and get ahead. Now, you know, they're sitting at, I forget how many the points total, but they're in 5th place in Hockey East. And, you know, I thought that was pretty impressive that we're sitting here considering they were pretty horrendous for a long time, a long stretch.
They got off to a slow start, and you could see that the chemistry just wasn't there. I don't know if it was Coach Cav trying to shift around the lines to see who felt comfortable with who. But what is really great at the end of those games when they announced the 3 stars is it's not the same.
Right.
You know, last year, Tage Thompson, Laternov, they were always the 3 stars in that group of the 3 stars.
Right.
This year, obviously, Huska's been in there.
Yeah.
You had Jesse Schwartz in there. Johnny Austin's been in there. Spencer Nass has been in there. So you're seeing more of a change. So it's not just a certain group. It's the whole team getting recognized for their efforts out there.
Yeah, you know, it's nice to see like the line of Wysocki, Palyusov, and Laternov is deadly. That's their top scoring line. And, you know, we forgot to mention this. It wasn't the 4-1 win against Vermont November 27th, but The next game, which I can't remember who they played, but anyway, in the next game, Alexander Palusol, who is a sophomore, came back from a leg injury, and since he's been back, 3 goals and 3 assists in 5 games. So that's good.
And Corey Ronan came back.
Yeah, that's right.
He was injured for a little while, and he was back, and he did quite well out there. You know, he's that constant irritation when he's forechecking, which is great because, as we've spoken about before, if you get off to that quick start and exercise your authority into the forechecking into their own zone, that's what's dictating how you're going to control the game, and that's really what happened these last 2 games specifically. When they came out against UMass Amherst, they were out there. They were forechecking. They were all over them, and obviously 3 quick goals right away. End of the first period, it was 3-0. End of the second period, it was 6-0. And then into the third period, they scored the 7th before UMass scored their first.
Right, and that was against Huska.
Yeah, that was against Huska, and they actually pulled Huska and brought Stone in for a little bit of a maintenance work.
Mop-up time,
Well, just to get him some minutes to put him in the net a bit.
Yeah, because they were up by a lot, and he ended up giving up 1 more goal. That made it 8-2.
Yeah.
But I mean, poor Huska. We feel bad. I mean, I remember Rob Nichols used to have to start every game that first year, and he had. I mean, if you went back to that 2014-2015 season, he had led the league in points. I mean, in minutes played, in shots, in saves, and save percentage. I mean, it was. If you look at it, he dwarfed other goalies, and Huska's now dealing with that, and that's not really fair to him. You know, they need to find a quality another goaltender. Either recruit. Creel just has played a few games and looked a little overmatched. And Stone, is it Stone? Yeah, and he's a freshman, so it's kind of new. You don't want to throw him to the wolves, so to speak.
But I think when they start to feel comfortable with the defense, and the last game we saw that the defense could have done a little bit better. Obviously, the defense did very well in the 8-2 shellacking.
Right.
But now you get into that 4-2 win against a very strong Colgate club.
Right.
You saw the defense do a great job. The 8-2, there was many times that puck was sitting there when Huska made that initial save, and that defenseman was there to blast it right out of there. So to see the defense pick up the loose rebound,
it's important.
They were like this.
You need that.
It was really good.
He can't stop every shot. I mean, he does. He's a heck of a goaltender.
The problem is he gives up that rebound. That's sitting there juicy, and thank goodness that they got the puck out of him.
Yeah. But if you watch the games, you could see that Laternov, he does have that NHL caliber. He just, he was in the corner and he'd go this way and that way and swing around, and he's got a good way to move the puck. He found the open spot in that insurance goal. So you wonder if he's going to make the jump early, or is he going to stick around?
What I would like Laternov to do more, and this is my personal opinion, is I equate him to Malkin on the Penguins.
Yep.
He shoots. He has all these assists, but more times than not, when he gets the puck, he shoots. He has to dump it off a bit more because they're all focusing on him.
Right.
He's the biggest guy out there. He's a very tall. Very tall. They all know he's a very good player, so they're going to focus their efforts on him. Give it to throw it back to a Johnny Austin or to a Spencer Noss or Schwartz or whoever's on that line that particular night, because they shake him up a bit.
Right.
Give it to someone else because they're looking for you. So, instead of being a Malkin, maybe be a Crosby.
Right.
Get the assist rather than the goal. And he only has like 3 or 4 goals, and he has like 12 assists. So he does have the assists.
Right.
But the last 2 games, I noticed he was taking a lot more shots.
Yeah, it's true. And, looking forward, they got the next game is against BC. It's a big game. That is actually in Boston. I can't remember the name of the arena, but anyway. So that'll be a really tough game, but maybe there's a chance they can get out of there with a tie or some kind of win. They've already lost to BC once. It was 2-1, and then BC will come to Hartford in February, which is usually always a big game. Maybe the governor will show up for that one. He's a BC grad, but we'll have to see if they can score. If they can steal a win from the Providences or another one from Northeastern or one of the
the next home
upper
game,
echelon teams,
the next home game is January 2nd against
Quinnipiac.
And Quinnipiac is having their troubles this season.
Right.
So maybe we can catch them on an off season where we can get a win.
And
that would be a real boost for UConn, I believe. You beat Quinnipiac, who's national champions in the past. They've been to the Frozen Four several times.
Right.
So to get a win, that would be a great confidence booster for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of confidence boosters, we got a next picture here for you. We got big news. We got 2 great events coming up. So pay attention if you like to attend these events. We usually help throw them on. The first one's not really put on by us. It's put on by the Connecticut Children's Medical Center at Winterfest next Thursday, December 21st, 6 to 7 p.m. We're having a launch party for the Hartford Whalers license plate. This is Bill 5389 that Jerry and I spearheaded to go collect signatures, use Whaler fans and help us out, and they got signatures, and we got a bill passed, and now in January, apparently you'll be able to go up to the DMV or go online and order your Whalers vanity plate. As we've mentioned a lot, it will go, the charity that will benefit from this will be the Connecticut Children's Medical Center, and I believe it's about $40 of the 60, is it 60 or 65?
It's $60.
Yep.
45 of that will go to the Connecticut Children's Medical Center.
Great cause.
And if you think about it, we along with help from others, received 827 signatures, I believe it was.
Yep.
And if we get 827 people to get a Hartford Whalers license plate, that will equate to about $36,000 for the Connecticut Children's Medical Center.
I think we'll get more. I'm hoping we get more.
I think we'll get over 1,000.
Yeah.
I think that, once it's out there, once people see it, it's going to market itself when it's on someone's car and you say, hey, there's a Whalers license plate.
Yeah.
I think it'll market itself. The big thing is, as Peter and I have talked at length about, how are we going to get involved and who's going to benefit from this. You can't, the Whalers, when they were here, were partnered with the UConn Children's Cancer Fund, so we figured the best possible thing we could do is partner with Connecticut Children's Medical Center, and Carissa over there has been really, really good to us, and we've been going back and forth with her on how we were going to take the steps to get to where we have to get to get this finalized. Finally, the first step was us doing the legislature thing and then getting it passed as a law, and now working with DMV and CCMC and the legislature to get this done.
Right, and just a little heads up out there, this is a mock-up plate, the one we have here. We don't really know exactly what the design really hasn't been approved yet with the NHL and everything, so we don't know what the design of the plate is actually going to be, but this is a mock-up we had done. Thanks to Minuteman Press of Bristol for doing that for us, because it looks great. It's got the January 118 is actually the date that it goes live, January of 2018.
Idea how we got that.
Yeah,
and,
it just works out perfectly.
It's kind of like a subliminal message that this is when it was going to pass.
And that's not it, because December 21st, 6 p.m., meet us at Winterfest by the hockey rink in Bushnell Park. And then on New Year's Eve, come downtown to Hartford to Pratt Street. If you don't know Pratt Street's where Vaughn's is. This is the one with the brick all over the sidewalks and the road. We will be at Woody's, the fish tank, I think it's called. Woody's, the Woody's hot dog fish tank, whatever. The sports bar. We're going to be doing a live show on New Year's Eve. We'll be there from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Pratt Street. Come by and say hello. We'll be talking license plates. We'll be talking Whalers. We may have, hey, if you come in the right time, you could be maybe a guest on the show. So Hartford Public Access TV will be there December 31st, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll be doing a half hour, maybe an hour show, something along those lines. We'll get the details ironed out. If you want to learn more about it, make sure you follow us, at the Whalers Brigade on Facebook and also at Whalers Brigade on Twitter. But we're really excited to do these 2 events. We kind of got into it. They're going to be doing a Paris 1937s kind of feel, which doesn't really go with the Whalers, but we got the call anyway, and they said, hey, come talk Hartford hockey.
They want the sports. There will be a representative from the Yard Goats in there.
That's right.
As well. So, it's very nice of the downtown council to get us involved. It will be a bistro-style event on Pratt Street. 1937, as Peter said.
That's right.
With French music will be played.
That's right.
I think there's a guitarist going to be down there.
Yeah.
Depending on what the weather's like, because you never know this time of the year.
Don't know if there'll be any croissants there, but
the good news is we'll be inside.
Yeah.
So we won't be bothered, I hope, by the weather, and I hope his heat works.
Yeah.
But yeah, come down and see us. You know,
Yeah.
Pete and I are always willing to BS a little bit and have
Yeah.
a good time.
Hey, go to a local restaurant and order some French onion soup for your
Your appetizer.
1937 Paris.
Yeah.
And while you're thinking about Paris 1937, come see the Whaler guys.
That's right. Yeah, because you know that
Yeah.
fits.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, we told you we were going to stick Whalers in everything that we could, and we're doing that. And that's one great thing about the license plates too, is that, you know, one of our jobs when we started doing the show was get the Whaler brand out there. And now that we can stick them on people's license plates, people can wear them proudly. I mean, we're going to see them all over the road. You can honk now to your buddy, hey, you're a Whaler fan, I'm a Whaler fan.
You know
Wouldn't
what?
you like to be a Whaler fan
on
too?
New Year's Eve, there's no reason why you shouldn't wear your Whaler sweatshirt out or your Whalers jersey with a sweatshirt underneath it.
Yeah.
You know, show your colors. Let people know that you're Whaler fans. And the more we keep on beating a drum and keeping that logo out there. I mean, there was just an article that our social media people put out on Facebook as, you know, what's the next expansion team? And Hartford was mentioned in that article.
I know, it's amazing.
So, you know, people notice, and the NHL is still selling tons of Whaler gear. It has recently been number 2. In the past 6 months, it's been number 5.
Yeah.
So, you know, by us supporting our logo, our brand, we're doing everything we can, and you guys should too, because it's our team. And there's only one way our team's coming back, and that's to keep on pushing those buttons.
Yeah.
You know, that irritating person that's always next to you going, that's us, and that's you. And you know what? Irritate the snot out of them, because that's the only reason we are on the radar still, and they have never shot us down. The only thing they said is we need a new arena. That's another conversation that we'll take another time.
Oh, sure.
But we're going to do that, and, you know, we're still pushing, and you guys should too, because you know what? Hartford is a professional NHL city, and we have hockey fans here in Hartford that come see the hockey clubs we have here. So keep it going, guys, because you know what? People are noticing. Yeah, and one final story. We got a bit of a sad news today. Lindsay can put up our next picture. I believe this was today or yesterday. The guy, Zarley Zalapski, who you may remember was part of the Ron Francis Ulf Samuelsson trade. Unfortunately, he has passed away at the age of 49. You know, a couple words about him. He was, you know, he was an all-star defenseman for the Whalers in '93. He was not the all-star defenseman we thought we were getting. However, you know, he played his best hockey 4 seasons with the Whalers, and in that time, 44 goals, 165 points, and believe it or not, that puts him 18th all-time on the Hartford Whalers NHL scoring list, and number 2 as a defenseman behind Mark Howe. So, you know, you think about it, Zarley Zalapski, a lot of people were like, well, he wasn't really that good. Well, you know, he wasn't Ron Francis good. No. But, you know, he did play well enough in Hartford. I mean, what defenseman gets about 10 goals a game? 10 goals a season. Sure. You know, he got 11, 12 goals a season or whatever. Yeah. And 165 points in 4 years. That's not bad. You know, I know they wanted him to be the next Paul Coffey, but, you know, Whaler fans are a little too hopeful. We all were a little. You know, I'll tell you this. Bottom line, the greatest name in hockey. It is. It is the double Z, we used to call him. And, And, you know, we either had great defensemen, great offensive people, or vice versa. And it was the same as the front office. You either had a great front office or you had great ownership. You never had them gel together, and we never had that gel together except for the 86-87 season. Right. You know, we were constantly, as they said, the forever 500s. But you know what? Damn it, we loved our forever 500s, and that's why we push. And, you know, Zarley Zalapski is part of our tradition here as Whaler fans in Hartford. And, you know, we pass on our condolences to his family. And thank you, Zarley, for playing here in Hartford and making obviously a major impact with the points totals. He's a Whaler. I mean, everybody remembers Zarley Zalapski. The name was synonymous, of course. You know, and that being part of that trade. Calgary. Yeah, that's true. You know, 49, way too young. Yeah. You know, and that's a sad thing. There's some rumors that he had passed away from a viral infection and a heart-related issue or something. Shame, you know. Yeah. Such a young age, you know. Oh, I'm 49, so. But we're going to wrap it up. You know, we have a lot going on, so we expect to see you guys because you are part of us. And we want to see you at Winterfest on Thursday, December 20th, and 21st. New Year's 21st. I'm sorry, 21st. And on New Year's Eve, we'll see you before the new year comes, and this could be our new year. So let's hope that the license plates and we bring back the Whalers, because we can do it together. That's right. We are the Whaler guys. You guys are the Brigade, and we are one nation under green. That's right. Have a great night.